Hello and welcome to the Bayern Professor. Today we'll be talking about the great news that we've just heard. I'm wearing my Bayern Munich scarf and it's actually a Champions League scarf because Sadio Mane is coming and he's going to win Bayern Munich the Champions League. Today, as a Bayern fan, I would like to talk about my thoughts on the fee. Is it good value for Mane, if you will? Is the fee the right price? Too expensive, too cheap? I will also like to talk about where Mane is actually going to slot into the team, where he'll fit in Julian Nagelsmann's tactics, why Bayern Munich signed the player, and also if I think that Mane can act as adequate Lewandowski replacement. We know how good Lewandowski is, and Mane isn't a natural striker, so there's a lot to get into in this area. But firstly, let's talk about the fee. We see that people like Fabrizio Romano, Christian Falk, Florian Plettenberg are saying this 32 million euros with 9 million in add-ons. And for a world-class player, only 30 years of age, still in the prime of his career like Mane, you have to say that's a great deal from Brazzo. They've really done a good job apparently here. And in addition, as only 32 million is guaranteed and there's 9 million in add-ons, I think this is a major thing to talk about because we see that the add-ons come from appearances, but also partly they come from add-ons whether Bayern Munich will win the Champions League or things like if Sadio Mane will win the Ballon d'Or. And in reality, if any of these things do happen, if Bayern do win the Champions League, if Mane is the best player in the world, it will have meant that Bayern had a really great season, that Bayern did really well, that Mane did really well. And I think, therefore, those add-ons, if they do come to fruition, they'll pay for themselves. So that's just very good business from Bayern yet again. And it shows that the fee was very reasonable for such a world-class player. But then, on the other hand, one must look at the overall package. So it is around a 40 million fee plus, say, 15 million for 3 seasons, which would total about 85 million. And adding on to the fact of player bonuses, agent fees, I personally wonder why couldn't Bayern just have kept Robert Lewandowski? Lewandowski this whole time was waiting for that 3-year contract, and Bayern never offered him it. And even if it was at a higher amount than Mane, say 25 million even a year, that would have totaled 75 million and been less than the overall package for Mane. So one really does have to wonder, why didn't we just keep Lewandowski? Why did we have to go through all this bravado, all this fracas? For what? Mane is coming, but at what cost? It's something we really need to think about. But on the other hand, you also look at players like Christopher Nkunku or Darwin Núñez, who are going for roughly around 100 million euros reported for Nkunku, and of course his transfer to Liverpool for Darwin, where I will also say it'll be nice to see his evolution there. But you wonder why Bayern couldn't have stumped up a slightly higher fee, but then players on lower wages and who are much younger, and these players would have paid back their higher fees in their performances, but also their longevity. Mane is 30. He only has 3-4 years at the top level left. Players like Nkunku have 10 plus years and are looking to be really top players also. So I think that in terms of that, the fee, perhaps we could have gotten another player, but I think it's a reasonable fee for a player of Mane's quality. Now, in terms of where and who and what Mane will slot into the Julian Nagelsmann system, so I think that Bayern next season, provided Lewandowski leaves, which is a big question, but also big likelihood probability, I think Mane will be playing centre forward a lot for the Bavarians. So in terms of this, I think the front three, which will now be composed likely of 3 wingers, for example, Sane, Mane, and then Coman, will have to be interchanging, slotting in and out of each other's positions all the time. And it'll actually make Nagelsmann's Bayern more fluid, more able to be less structured. But on the other hand, we will lack the focal point of Lewandowski, who was always an aerial presence. And we must not forget also help defending our set pieces as well as attacking them. And Mane at 1.7 meters is just not going to be able to do that. Yet Mane will offer more dynamicism. He will be able to slot into the wide areas. And with more pace, perhaps we could fully unlock the front three. And the front three system is a system we've seen Liverpool use in previous years. We've seen Barcelona with Messi, Suarez, Neymar, where if they're very fluid and they're all very fast, very dynamic players, they can actually boost each other. So I think Mane's arrival should boost the numbers and should boost the productivity of players like Sane and Gnabry also. While if Bayern do sign a replacement striker, like Sasa Kalajdzic, I still think that Bayern will be mainly playing with Mane, at the centre forward position. It seems like that's where we signed him for. He seems like a dollar-made replacement for Lewandowski, and this is where I see him playing. I see him playing in that 4-2-3-1 also, with Muller just behind him, and Muller will be able to provide him support and help, and also Muller's larger presence in both ability to free roam space, but also his size will be like a Firmino connection with Mane, which he's used to, and I think that'll be a major part of Bayern's play in the next season, that Mane and Muller connection. But if Lewandowski did really stay, which would be a great thing, I think that Mane would terrorize it on the left wing. If you're opposing defender, if you're a right-sided defender, you don't want to see Mane and Davies coming at you like that. But also, I think that because of the fact that Mane is that right-footed winger, he's like Frank Ribery. He's able to cut inside, unlike Sane, who perhaps is shifted too far wide and also sometimes might block Davies. I think that'd be a lethal combo. It would make the most of Davies' pace and overlapping abilities, but also Mane would be able to cut in and I think really get those goal contributions to this team. Now, in terms of whether he can be the Lewandowski replacement, as you see here, Mane does not, as we saw, Mane did not get given a shirt number in his unveiling, in his arrival to Munich. And that makes me think that Lewandowski or Gnabry, one of the wingers, someone with a marquee shirt number like the 7, 9 or 10, is going to leave the club in the near future. And I think that Mane will actually inherit that shirt number. But as it's likely Lewandowski, can he replace him? Well, in terms of the fee, it's looking like Bayern will recoup at least 50 million for Lewandowski if he is sold. And that would represent actually the much older Lewandowski, about 3 years older, getting a higher fee than Mane, which does represent phenomenal business, but also shows how Mane's signing is a replacement for Lewandowski in financial terms. And yeah, I don't even know how Barcelona are getting the money for this, but apparently their economic levers from merchandising are able to facilitate it. But whatever the fee is for Lewandowski, we should be getting more than Mane. And if we get 50 or even 60 for Barcelona on a Lewandowski, a 33 or 4-year-old Lewandowski who has 1 year left on his contract, we'll just all be saying Barcelona yet again, because it shows shambolic leadership from that club. So bad. In addition, through the past 4 seasons, I looked at the numbers, and Mane has had 18, 25, and 23 goal contributions in the more competitive Premier League than the Bundesliga. So this shows that even if Lewandowski leaves, there is now someone who has Robin and Ribery-esque numbers in attack. He's actually able to get those crucial goal contributions even from the wing, and it should be more in a Bayern super team, one must say, and one which will be funneling him opportunities left, right and centre, unlike sometimes at Liverpool, maybe he wasn't receiving the ball as much, or Salah was more the point of attention. So I can really see Mane actually getting up to 30, even 35 goal contributions in the Bundesliga next season, for example, a 25 goal and 10 assist. And I think that he will really be able to reproduce, perhaps not reproduce, but he'll be able to compensate for Lewandowski's lost output while also promoting the benefit of the other wingers by involving them more in play and other aspects like that. Another aspect I want to touch upon, though, is Lewandowski's connection to Thomas Muller. And that has been the cornerstone of all Bayern's successes in the last few years. And with Mane's arrival and Lewandowski's probable departure, one has to wonder how that dynamic will change. Will Muller be able to interact with Mane? It's a question that's up for debate. But as I mentioned, Muller has a Firmino-like skill set, so perhaps the integration to Bayern's team and Bayern's Muller-led really attack should be seamless. And although Lewandowski and Muller are like yin and yang, hopefully they can get a good partnership going. And I really believe that Muller will assist lots of Sadio Mane goals, and that Mane will be good value for Mane in that forward position. The final thing I do want to touch upon, actually, though, is how Brazo comes off in this deal. So this deal for Brazo is a great bit of PR. He's lacked it in recent weeks. He's been booed by the fans, he's been disrespected, and many people are upset with what he's done, what transfers he's done, how he conducts his business. And this is just a massive win for Brazo, getting one of the best players ever to come on a transfer to the Bundesliga in Sadio Mane at a prime age, slightly old but still decent at 30. But if Lewandowski's departure and Sadio Mane's coming in, if it doesn't work out, I think Brazo really could be in trouble, because his reputation, his chances of staying in the job at Bayern are really riding on the line with this one. If Bayern don't show up, if Mane doesn't show up, people will be wondering, why wasn't Lewandowski just offered the 3-year contract he wanted? Mane got this 3-year contract at a similar age, because one must consider that Mane, although he's a few years younger than Lewandowski, his game is very taxing. It relies on the muscles. It relies on explosiveness, dynamicism, unlike Lewandowski's, which relies a bit more on the intelligence, positioning, etc. So Mane will inevitably decline in these next few years. So can he even keep up a top level that Lewandowski likely can? So those are my thoughts. But just to finish off, I would like to say that this deal really shows, I would really like to say that Mane has come through very well on this deal. We've seen how good of a person he is, and he lacks the ego that has plagued Lewandowski in recent times and currently still plagues Lewandowski. And I think that it's really a lesson for Lewandowski and his agent, the piranha Pini Zahavi, who's a fish with his literal tail between his legs as he's a piranha. But I think it poses a lesson for them on the amicable situation between clubs. Mane respected Liverpool. He got them a decent fee, but he left very respectfully. Everyone really enjoyed him, while Lewandowski has burnt bridges at Bayern. And I think that shows perhaps a difference in the mentality between the two players. Both are world-class on the pitch, but in terms of personality, Sadio Mane is also world-class. And no comment on Lewandowski. So those are my thoughts on the transfer. I think that Sadio Mane can be a good Lewandowski replacement. Hopefully Lewandowski stays at the club, but if he doesn't, I think it's a good piece of business by Brazo. Although only time will tell if Sadio Mane is cut out in Bayern red. After all, he's had a great time at Liverpool, but it's Bayern Munich. It's a different challenge, and even though those English pundits are disrespecting the club like the rats that they are, it's an entirely different challenge at Bayern. The stakes are very high, and we'll see if Sadio Mane is able to do well. Please leave a comment. How do you think Sadio Mane is going to do at Bayern? And goodbye. Thank you very much.